right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated.
In the context of the war on drugs, the U.S. court system has made Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches meaningless. The Supreme Court has made numerous rulings that interprets the Fourth Amendment in allowing police officers to carry out more aggressive acts towards civilians. Every year, mass incarceration continues to grow to the war on drugs. The U.S. court system increases incarceration rates due to convictions for drug offenses. Since the beginning of the war on drugs, the true meaning of the Fourth Amendment and what it stands for has become non-existent, and a result of police and drug enforcement agencies' conniving strategies in capturing those possessing drugs. More than 26,000 people were stopped for alleged marijuana possession. More people were arrested for marijuana possession offenses than any other type of offense. Despite the NYPD's repeated claim that its Stop and Frisk program is valuable because it targets guns, the facts show it is much more a marijuana arrest program. In 2012, the NYPD recovered 729 guns through the Stop and Frisk. By contrast, more than 5,000 people were arrested last year under the program for marijuana possession offenses.
The target the cops are after when attempting stop and frisk seem to be about guns and harmful weapons, but instead the cops are actually intending to arrest citizens for drug possession. So, police are not actually targeting what they say they are after, and more people are found locked behind bars for minor offenses made into misdemeanors. The number of people being locked behind bars are adding up, leading to the growing problem of mass incarceration due to the war on drugs.
In 1977, New York State decriminalized possession of up to 25 grams of marijuana, making it a non-criminal violation punishable by a $100 fine, like a traffic ticket. Possessing or burning marijuana in public view, however, is a criminal misdemeanor offense. The police either trick people into publicly revealing marijuana concealed in a pocket or handbag by demanding they empty their pockets, or the police simply illegally search them and then falsely charge and arrest them for public view or burning even when the marijuana was concealed.
Police officers can easily justify stop and frisk by changing certain laws that make it more reasonable to make more stops on suspicious people. The evidence states that police specifically trick people into revealing marijuana because the law says that when marijuana is possessed or burned in the public view, it becomes a misdemeanor offense. Police are finding loopholes to target innocent people of crimes they are usually not even suspicious of committing.
And it ended in a torrent of questions about the technique called Stop and Frisk. ABC
Stop and Frisk.
The Fourth Amendment requires that the police have a reasonable suspicion that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed before stopping a suspect. If the police reasonably suspect the person is armed and dangerous, they may conduct a frisk, a quick put down of a person's outer clothing. Every American citizen has the constitutional right to be free from unreasonable search and seizure. Stop and frisk are declared reasonable if police feel concern for the safety of the officer or others, suspicion the suspect is armed and dangerous, suspicion the suspect is about to commit a crime where a weapon is commonly used, officer is alone and backup has not yet arrived, number of suspects and their physical size, behavior, emotional state, and or look of suspects.
All a police officer has to do in order to conduct a baseless drug investigation is to speak with someone and then get their consent to be searched. A specific court case that played part in consent searches is Florida versus Bostic, which took place in 1991. This court case has made it possible for police to request consent to search during a consensual encounter even though they have no suspicion of criminal activity. In that case, Terrence Bostic, a 28-year-old African-American, had been sleeping in the backseat of a Greyhound bus on his way from Miami to Atlanta. Two police officers wearing bright green raid jackets and displaying their badges and a gun woke him with a stop. The officers were working the bus looking for persons who might be carrying drugs. Bostic provided them with his identification and ticket as requested. The officers then asked to search his bag. Bostic complied even though he knew his bag contained a pound of cocaine. The officers had no basis for suspecting Bostic of any criminal activity, but they got lucky. They arrested Bostic and he was charged and convicted of trafficking cocaine. On appeal, the Florida Supreme Court ruled in Bostic's case that the police officer's conduct violated the Fourth Amendment's prohibition of unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fourth Amendment, the court reasoned, forbids the police of seizing people and searching them without some individualized suspicion that they have committed or are committing a crime. The court thus overturned Bostic's conviction, ruling that the cocaine, having been obtained illegally, was inadmissible. The U.S. Supreme Court reversed. The court ruled that Bostic's encounter with the police was purely voluntary, and therefore he was not seized within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment. A reasonable person, the court concluded, would have felt free to sit there and refuse to answer the police officers' questions, and would have felt free to tell the officers, "No, you cannot search my bag." Accordingly, Bostic was not really seized within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment, and the subsequent search was purely consensual. The court made clear that its decision was to govern all future drug sweeps, no matter what the circumstances of the targeted individual.
Specific tactics like the consent searches and stop and frisk have created loopholes in allowing law enforcement to take part in unreasonable searches and seizures amongst U.S. citizens in hopes of finding drugs, making the Fourth Amendment almost meaningless.